Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. Today we will be talking about time signatures. There are many time signatures, but for the purpose of understanding their function, I will only be discussing two today. Those are the time signatures of 4/4 and 3/4. Before we get started, there are some terms you should be aware of. The first is the term of a measure. A measure is indicated in music by these black bars. I will also be talking about different note lengths. Here's a diagram showing a picture of a note and what each note is called. Please notice that it doesn't matter which direction the line of the note goes, either up or down, it remains the same note. Most importantly for today, try and remember that this is a quarter note. Back to time signatures. Every time signature is made up of two numbers, one on top of the other. Every time signature answers the following question: how many of what kind of note makes one full measure of music? In a time signature, the top number tells us how many, and the bottom number tells us what kind. The top number tells us how many beats are in one measure of music. So looking at 4/4, how many beats are there? The correct answer is 4, because that is what the top number is. Now look at 3/4. How many beats are in one measure of this time signature? Again, looking at the top number, we see the answer is 3. This top number can technically be anything, but it will always tell us the same thing. The top number tells us how many beats are in one measure of music. The bottom number tells us what kind of note gets one beat in our measure. The bottom number can be a little bit more confusing, but I find it's best to associate the bottom number with one of our types of notes from earlier. You may have noticed that 4/4 and 3/4 actually have the same number on the bottom. That is because they both use quarter notes. If we had a 2 on the bottom, half notes would take up one beat. This is less common than quarter notes, but not impossible. As one final example, if there was an 8 on the bottom, eighth notes would get one beat. With this information in mind, let's try to build a couple of measures of music with our time signatures, starting with the most common time signature of 4/4. Remember, the top number tells me how many notes I need, and the bottom number tells me what kind of note I need to use. So 4/4 tells me that I need 4 quarter notes. Let's try another. Here's 6/8. Take a second and see if you can figure out what one measure of this music would look like. 6/8 tells me that I need 6 eighth notes for one measure of music. As mentioned previously, there are an incredible amount of unique time signatures, but the purpose of all time signatures remains the same. They serve to answer the question, how many of what kind of note makes one measure of music? This has been another episode of Music Theory from the Ground Up. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or topics you would like me to cover in future videos, leave them in the comments below. A like, share, and subscribe are always appreciated. I look forward to working with you to build your skills from the ground up.